Okay, so we're going to cover the geometry standards in two different videos. This one's G1 through 4. So the answer on G1 number 3 is 5 inches. Moving on to G2 number 4, part A and C are congruent. Part B could use a reflection and a translation. There are other combinations that would also work. In part C, you can tell that they're not congruent because they have different sizes. Then G3, we had several questions. Number 4 was A. 6, C prime was 2, 3. D prime was negative 2, 5. E prime was 0, 7. Number 7 was 16 centimeters. 8 was choice C. 9, you can check your answer there. And 11 were the second, third, fifth, and last choices, so I'll label those as B, C, E, and F. G4, number 6 was B. Okay, so now we're going to go back through and look through these if you missed anything. So starting back here with G1, if there is a reflection, then it's still the same size. It just changes the position. So SU was 5 inches. S prime U prime is also 5 inches. Going on to G2, number 4, A and C are congruent figures. They're just turned different ways. You could have reflected figure A upside, to the right, so across the y-axis, and then translated it down and to the left to get to figure C. And then part C, they've got to be the same size and shape to be congruent, and some of these are different sizes. G3, what's true about this when there's reflection over the x-axis? So one thing we know is that when it flips across the x-axis, it's going to keep the same x value. If we're thinking about the x and the y-axis. You know, we also have the rule that says xy goes to x negative y. That means the x is keeping the same value because the y changes its height. Number 6, we're given ordered pairs and we're told it's rotated 90 degrees. It does not tell us which direction, and since it didn't specify that, I'm going to specify counterclockwise. So you might have went the other direction and got different values, but I'm going to use 90 degrees counterclockwise. And so when doing that, we'll use the 90 degree counterclockwise rule that says xy goes to negative yx. We take all our original ordered pairs, C, D, and E, 3, negative 2, 5, 2, and 7, 0, and we'll use those to get C prime, D prime, and E prime. Okay, now I'm going to take my first coordinate, which is actually the original y. It's going to change all their signs because it goes to negative y. So I get 2, negative 2, and 0 because 0 doesn't hold a sign. Then I'm going to take the second coordinate, which was the original x's, and they didn't change, they just kept their sign. So 3, 5, and 7. So that's how we got these ordered pairs. Number 7, we're given a perimeter that is reflected and translated. So these are the same size, they just moved position. So the perimeter was 16, the perimeter is still 16 centimeters. Number 8, what's the scale factor? Well, notice that it is getting smaller. So it's a number that is less than 1. So it can't be A or B. And how much smaller is it getting? Well, we could look and compare. From D to D prime, is going from 9, 9 to 3, 3. So what it's doing, it's taking the original xy and it is multiplying the x by 1/3 and the y by 1/3 every time. Number 9, it's asking you to do two things, translate and then reflect. So I'm going to start with the translation. It says translate 3 units left and 4 units down. So I'm just going to count 3 left and 4 down for every ordered pair. So u going 3 left and 4 down gives me u prime. R going 3 left and 4 down gives me r prime. T going 3 left and 4 down gives me t prime. And S going 3 left and 4 down gives S prime. I'll connect those. And then a reflection across the y-axis just means it goes across the y. So we get R double prime, because it's 2 units across, U double prime, which was 4 units across, S double prime, which was 2 units across, and T double prime, which was 3 units across. Number 11, select all sets of transformations that result in a congruent image. If it's congruent, it cannot have a dilation. So we cross off the dilation on the first choice, cross out the dilation on the fourth choice. Everything else is going to be the same size, same shape. Dilation doesn't change the shape, but it does change the size. G4, our last question here. Which sequence results in figures that are similar but not the same size? Once again, that means there's a dilation. And the only one that has a dilation is choice B.